You know what most people don't get? That alarm clock doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care that you're tired. It doesn't care that yesterday broke you. It just screams, it's time. And in that moment, most people roll over. They hit snooze. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow never comes. Because the weak mind will always find an excuse. You hate me because when I talk like this, you feel attacked. Because you know it's true. You know that you've been wasting time, making promises you never keep. You know that when no one's watching, you choose comfort over growth. That's why my words sting, because they expose you. They make you face yourself. See, I spent years trying to please people, smiling, agreeing, doing what they expected. But every time I did that, a piece of me died. Every time I tried to make others comfortable, I left my own potential untouched. And that's how most people live, half alive, wondering why they feel empty. You think peace comes from avoiding pain? No, peace comes from facing it, from standing in front of the mirror and saying, I'm done lying to myself. I didn't find happiness by chasing it. I found it by earning my own respect. When I looked in the mirror at 300 pounds, depressed, lost, I didn't pray for motivation. I didn't wait for a miracle. I said, enough, because no one was coming to save me. No trainer, no family, no shortcut, just me in the mirror, and that reflection was my enemy and my teacher. You have to stop thinking. Normal. Normal is comfort. Normal is average. Normal is the death of greatness. I had to build myself from nothing, brick by brick, failure by failure. No magic, no talent, no gifted genetics. Just pain and obsession. Because I became obsessed with one thing, becoming the hardest version of myself. People love to talk about balance. They say, don't overdo it. Take it easy. But here's the truth. If you want to be the best, balance won't save you. Obsession will. To reach the top of anything, your craft, your body, your mind, you have to be unbalanced for a while. You have to give every ounce of yourself. That's how you find your real strength. Not by keeping things comfortable, but by chasing what others fear. I don't call anything failure anymore. You know why? Because failure means you tried. Failure means you showed up. Not trying. That's the real failure. Every setback, every loss, every rejection, it's not failure. It's a test, a question. How bad do you want it? If you can walk and you take one step toward better, that's success. If you can't walk, but you try to move, that's victory. The only people who lose are the ones who stop trying. You give words too much power. Failure, pain, impossible. These words destroy weak minds. But to a warrior, they're just signals, reminders to keep pushing. Nobody's going to hand you a new life. Nobody's going to miracle you into greatness. You've got to build it yourself, alone, when nobody believes in you. Especially then. I spent 5 years avoiding my purpose. People told me to write a book, to share my story. I said no. I said the world wasn't ready. Truth was, I wasn't ready, because I still cared too much about judgment. They told me, you have to be on social media. And I said, no, that's poison. Because the same kind of people who laughed at me when I was lost, they'd be the same ones judging me when I got up. But I realized something. They can't hurt you when you stop hiding. When you walk into a room and 1,000 people hate you, but you still walk tall, that's real. Freedom, because you know yourself. You faced your own hell. You've walked through it. You've bled for it. You've earned your peace. And peace isn't smiles and calm motions. Peace is power under control. Peace is knowing you've survived everything meant to destroy you. You've got two choices in this life. You can be normal, safe, forgotten, or you can be the one they whisper about. The one who did what no one else had the guts to do. You don't need talent to be dangerous. You need commitment. Because when you're committed, every excuse dies. Every weakness gets exposed and burned away. Greatness doesn't live in balance. It lives in chaos, in sacrifice, in the dark places where most people quit. You want to create something powerful? Shut out the noise. Lock in. Become your own scientist. Your own soldier, your own builder. When I trained, I didn't train to move weights. I trained to move my limits. Every rep was war. Every run was a battle with my weaker self. And that's the war you have to fight. Not with other people, but with the voice in your head that says, you can't, you're tired, you'll fail. Because that voice, that's the real enemy. When you master that voice, when you silence it, you become unstoppable. That's what obsession is. That's what transformation looks like. When everyone else is looking for shortcuts, you're looking for scars. Because scars mean you didn't quit. Scars mean you earned it. And that's the difference between people who dream and people who do. You see, most people walk through life unprepared. They wake up and just hope the day goes well. They let emotions run their lives. And then they wonder why nothing changes. You can't face life unarmed. You can't face your demons without armor. You can't win the war in your life when you keep showing up without a plan. When I attack my day, I account for everything. The things that might happen, the things that will happen, and the things I don't even see coming. That's how you win. Because when chaos hits, weak minds panic, strong minds adapt. That's the difference. Every time I've been beaten down, broken, told I wasn't enough, that's where my confidence was built. Not in winning, but in getting up when I had no reason to. Confidence isn't motivation. It's not hype. It's built one miserable morning at a time. When it's cold, when it's dark, when you've got no one cheering for you. That's where belief is born. You want confidence? Then stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll start tomorrow. Start now. Because belief is built through repetition, through doing the thing you don't want to do, again and again until it becomes who you are. When I started, I was miserable. Every day was pain, every step was war. But I told myself, this is your new life. Take it or leave it. And I took it. You don't get to negotiate with growth. You either commit or you stay broken. There's no middle ground. I had a list of every weakness I had. Fear, laziness, self-doubt, pain. And I looked at it every single day, because you can't fix what you're afraid to face. Most people don't want to face themselves. They want the rewards, not the process. They want confidence without the suffering that builds it. But that's not how it works. The truth? To reach greatness, you have to die to your old self. You've got to bury every excuse, every comfort, every maybe someday. The world won't understand you. They'll say you've lost balance. They'll say you're obsessed. But obsession is just what discipline looks like to lazy people. When you commit to excellence, you will be misunderstood. People will think you're crazy. They'll call you arrogant. They'll say you've changed. Good. You should change. You should evolve. Because comfort never built a legend. You think balance built warriors? You think balance built champions? You think balance built those who rewrote the limits of human potential? No. Pain did. Sacrifice did. Obsession did. When I was at my lowest, I realized something powerful. Nobody's coming to fix your life. You are the problem. And you are the solution. I had to invent a new version of myself. A man who didn't exist before. Someone built out of suffering and self-respect. I used to look up to heroes, to fighters, to men who looked unbreakable. One day, I decided I'll become that. Not pretend, not dream, become. And that's what I did, brick by brick, failure by failure, until there was nothing left of the man I used to be. When people ask me about rest, recovery, taking it easy, I tell them this. The truth isn't pretty. I didn't take days off, because every time I did, the weak version of me tried to crawl back. You don't rest when you're tired. You rest when you've earned peace. And peace doesn't come cheap. If you want to rebuild yourself, you have to grind your soul down to dust and rebuild it stronger. You don't need motivation. You need accountability. You don't need more comfort. You need confrontation. Confront yourself, your laziness, your lies, your wasted potential. Everyone wants to be great, but no one wants to be broken. First, No one wants to sit alone in silence and face who they really are. But that's where the transformation happens. In the silence, in the dark, in the place where your excuses echo the loudest. That's where you meet yourself. That's where you either quit or evolve. Most people don't understand this part of the journey. They think growth feels good. They think success is about feeling positive. No, growth is pain. Success is chaos. You have to learn to find peace inside of the storm. That's why I stopped chasing happiness. I started chasing hardship, because hardship reveals who you really are. You want to know who you are? You want to meet the real you? Then put yourself in the dark. No noise, no phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. That's where the truth hides. Most people run from that room because it's uncomfortable, because they can't face their own reflection without filters or lies. But if you can stay there long enough, if you can sit in your pain and understand it, you'll come out stronger than anything life throws at you. That's why I say, you don't need better luck. You don't need better genetics. You need more dark rooms, because those rooms forge warriors. And when you walk out of that darkness, with scars, with pain, with fire in your eyes, the world won't recognize you, but you'll recognize yourself for the first time. You'll finally say, this is me. This is who I was meant to be. There's a war going on, and it's not out there in the world. It's inside your head. Every morning, before you even open your eyes, the battle begins. The voice of comfort tells you to stay in bed. The voice of weakness tells you to rest. The voice of doubt whispers, take it easy. You deserve it, but deep inside, you know the truth. Those voices aren't your friends, they're the enemy. See, your mind isn't designed to make you great. It's designed to keep you safe, to protect you from pain, to avoid risk, to keep you exactly where you are. That's why greatness is so rare, because it requires war against your own nature. When you wake up tired and sore and that little voice says, not today, that's the moment that decides your life. You either move or you stay average. Every time you say no to that voice, you take back control. You're teaching your mind who's in charge. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You will never feel ready. You will never feel motivated. You will never feel like it's the perfect time. So stop waiting for feelings. Start relying on discipline. Motivation dies fast. Discipline stays. That's why I tell people, you don't need inspiration. You need structure. You need systems. You need to reprogram your brain to do the work. No matter what? Because when you strip everything away, it's not about talent, not about luck, not even about intelligence. It's about consistency. You can beat anyone, or if you refuse to quit. That's the rule. That's the truth. You can have average genetics, average intelligence, average everything, and still become unstoppable if you master your mind. Because once the mind breaks, the body follows. But when the mind is strong, no one can break you. I learned this during my darkest hours, when I was broken, bleeding, exhausted, and my body wanted to quit. I had to find something deeper. That's when I discovered the 40% rule. When your mind says you're done, you're only 40% done. There's always another 60% left in the tank. You just don't want to face it. Your body is capable of far more than your mind allows it to believe. But you'll never find that extra 60% if you always stop at comfort. That's why I train in the dark, and that's why I run when it rains. That's why I push when it hurts. Because every time I do, I silence that weak voice a little more. And the more you silence it, the quieter it gets. That's how you take control. Not by shouting affirmations into a mirror, but by proving, through action, that you're not your feelings. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not weak. You're untrained. You're not broken. You're untested. Life is a constant test. And every test asks the same question. How bad do you want it? Most people answer with excuses. You answer with work. That's what separates warriors from the world. Because when you're at rock bottom, when no one believes in you, when you're bleeding inside and out, that's when you find the real you, the part of you that refuses to die, the part that fights when there's no reason left, the part that crawls through fire and comes out stronger on the other side. That's who you are. That's who you've been hiding behind fear and comfort. But here's the thing. No one's coming to pull that version of you out. You've got to drag him out yourself. Through pain, through sweat, through tears. You've got to build him 1 rep, 1 mile, 1 failure at a time. And when you finally see him, the real you, you'll realize something powerful. You were never weak. You were just undisciplined. Pain wasn't the enemy. Comfort was you were never fighting the world. You were fighting the man in the mirror. And that's the only fight that matters, because once you win that war, everything else becomes easy. People ask me, when do you stop? I don't. There is no finish line. Because greatness isn't a goal. It's a state of mind. The moment you think you've made it, you've lost. So you keep pushing. You keep growing. You keep hunting that next level. Because if you're not improving, you're decaying. If you're not getting stronger, you're getting softer. And that's not an option. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done, and you're never done. Every morning, when you wake up, you have 2 choices. Be the person you were yesterday, or become someone stronger. That's your mission every single day. So stop chasing comfort. Stop looking for easy. Start building yourself into someone who can handle anything, because the world doesn't reward easy. It rewards those who refuse to quit. That's what Stay Hard 2.0 is about. It's not motivation, it's transformation. It's a reminder that no matter how broken you are, how tired you are, how far you've fallen, you can always rise again. You can always fight again. You can always rebuild. But it starts with one decision: to stop running from pain and start training with it. Because pain is your teacher. Pain is your fuel. Pain is the signal that you're still alive and still capable of more. So embrace it, use it, feed on it. When the world sleeps, you train. When they quit, you continue. When they doubt you, you prove them wrong, silently. Because warriors don't talk, they do. They execute, they rise, and that's who you are. Now, not the old version, not the broken version, the evolved version. The one who turned pain into purpose, the one who mastered the mind, the one who stayed hard. So next time life hits you, you smile, because that's your test, and you've been training for it. Stand tall, breathe deep, look that pain in the face and whisper, "You picked the wrong person to mess with." Then move forward. Repping from 1 step, 1 day at a time. Because greatness isn't given, it's earned in sweat, in blood, in silence. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay relentless, and above all, stay hard 2.0.